Good evening and welcome to tonight's Boise State Esports broadcast. I'm your host, Jacob Jim Mountain Palmer, and tonight we have a Rocket League doubleheader for you. The first match we're going to be getting to is the Broncos versus the Mocs, and joining me to help call the action, it's a regular you see on this channel often, Michael Fish Fisher. Fish, it's great to see you again. Good to be back after a week of absence on my part, and I'm looking forward to seeing some action tonight.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad to have you back, Jim Mountain. I'm excited for the Rocket League we're going to have in store tonight, a nice doubleheader. So I'm very excited to get back in this. Always nice to have this on a Monday, something to look forward to.
Now, let's take this moment to bring me up to speed, or more accurately, maybe people who haven't tuned in last week. What was the kind of action we saw last week in the Rocket League team? How are they looking? I suspect they're looking pretty good because their skill level is pretty high. But as far as I know, this is the start of a new tournament.
Yeah, they did have a tournament last week. The Broncos had a big social distancing Mountain West Rocket League championship. Didn't go as well as I think Boise State might have hoped. They did lose in the semifinals, and the other team lost in the quarterfinals. So they still look sharp, but I'm definitely sure they're excited to get a fresh start here with a new tournament and maybe erase some of those woes they had last week against some of the Mountain West competition.
Well, we can see right here, this is the social distancing series, the Rocket League Mountain West social distancing series. And looks like you can see here, I think this is what you were talking about, Fish, of just the Broncos not necessarily having the best time of it, although CSU had a pretty good time of this tournament. Although I do have to say, your chances of winning go up considerably when your teams take up half the bracket.
Yeah, and it was actually, from some of the research we did, maybe not the strongest CSU team. The CSU Slate team that lost in the first round had a couple of their really good collegiate Rocket League teams, or players, I should say. So, yeah, as you said, it is easy when you have a quarter of the bracket, but Boise State, yeah, definitely hoping to get a little farther in this next tournament, no matter when the actual tournament begins, because a little bit of a disappointing effort. Not effort, but disappointing result, I should say.
Well, hopefully they can pick up the pieces since this is a social distance tournament, obviously taking place at home. Every player playing remotely. They're going to be playing a best of 5, kind of like a NACE Rocket League that we've been used to. I do have to say, I just personally prefer best of 5 a little bit, just in terms of the flow of the game keeps going. When we started casting Rocket League, or when I first started casting Rocket League, a lot of the games were best of 7 under, I believe, the TESPA rules. So best of 7 can certainly turn into a marathon, but hopefully the Broncos can maybe start it with a shutout. I'd like to see a 3-0 victory. Of course, I'm not predicting that, but I would like to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I will say there's nothing better in sports or esports than an epic Game 7, but I have no problem with the best of 5 series. It does keep the action flowing, as you said, Gem Mountain. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Boise State, hey, you know what? A Bronco win is all I'm hoping for. I don't care if it's 3-0 or if it's a comeback reverse sweep, but I'd love to see a Bronco win to kick off tonight's stream.
Hopefully they can, and I do believe... if this is kind of similar to the other tournaments we had. If I'm not mistaken, Fish, these social distancing tournaments all kind of take place in one day. So if Boise State wins one, then we move into the next round. But if they lose, that's it for us tonight.
Well, we'll have to see that as we hop right in. We'll have the details coming up. But right now, Boise State trying to find a way to prevent an early goal from the Mocs. Nice dribble over there, but a great stop there. LC Coral comes charging in. Nice little feint. Unfortunately, over-pursued the ball. So we are unfortunately going to have to see Boise State maybe try and reset here a little bit. Ace Pocket, though, with a great setup for Waiting to make it the first goal of the night.
It's a great start for the Broncos. Ace Pocket plays it up around the corner, is able to play it around the Mocs, centers it up, and Waiting with a nice little shot there. It's going to put the Broncos into an early lead. Now up against the Mocs, can see where the viewpoint of Cabot here. The charge goes forward for the 50-50. It's going to head off to the side, now back over to Bronco territory as the Mocs try to set it up. Ball's going to try to be cleared, but a nice shot on goal there from Pranzor. It's going to be saved by Ace Pocket, and another follow-up is going to be saved again. So the Broncos a little bit on their hind legs, a little bit uncharacteristic, and another attempted shot there from the Mocs. So they are definitely trying to even up the score a little bit here. Waiting now is going to try to find his own clear. It's going to play it up in the center. It is going to stay in the center, and the Broncos try to get some side control.
Yeah, looks like Boise State, unfortunately, Waiting is going to miss on that. A demo is going to go out under another member of Boise State, so they will have to try and reset there. Waiting just losing that 50-50 ball in the mid there. Does go all the way down. Ball kind of battling back and forth in the mid. Pops up. Now Waiting once again sees his opportunity. Going to try and play it off the wall. Great steal, though, there by a member of the Mocs. Goes right over to a member of Boise State. Now bouncing in front of the Broncos' goal. And Disorder going to actually put that one in the back of the net.
They have found the equalizer. He just comes right in there from midfield, plays it up and over. LC Kuro, who rushes in, can't quite get to it, and now we have a tied game. And kind of unlike that very early goal that we saw from the Broncos on, they haven't been able to really get a lot of good side control going. So I hope that goal wasn't necessarily a fluke as in terms of this game, because the Mocs ever since then have been showing some great control as Cabot is going to try to center it up. Here comes Pranzor, shot on goal off to the right. right is going to be saved. And now Waiton tries to play it up off the wall to clear it. There you go. Ace Pocket finds his own clear off into the corner, but Pranzor is going to try to clear it himself. He goes off into the corner, is able to get a successful clear, now tries to center it up for Cabot, who comes rushing in there, but is disrupted by the Broncos, not able to find his shot.
No, unfortunately, it doesn't look like Boise State. Actually, they were able to get that clear. It was sort of clogged up. The Mocs misplaying. That one shot on goal turns into a huge clear all the way down in the corner for the Mocs. Couple members there. Ace Pocket able to disrupt that one. Passes it up to his teammate. Cabot can't quite get there, but Pranzor in the corner able to steal that one away. Disorder comes racing in. Stalls out just a bit. Ace Pocket able to push that one away. Just missed by his teammate, unfortunately. It looks like Boise State might have to reset here.
Yeah, might just have to reset. No goals to speak of as we're about halfway into the match right now. Ball tries to get centered back into the center of the field. Here comes Cabot. The ball's not going to be cleared by him. Instead, it's going to head right over to Florida Southern, who now tries to clear it. Ball goes in the center. Here comes Ace Pocket to follow it up off the side, and now trying to get the centering shot, which it comes in. The Broncos rush in, and LC Curl finds it to push them back into a lead.
You can see there just great teamwork there. LC Coral playing it around one, or Waiton, playing around one, and LC Coral there maybe stole it away, but just ensuring it goes in the back of the net. Really great play, though, by Waiton in that corner to keep that dribble alive. 50-50 ball. Waiton going to not quite win out there. Ball bounces back, unfortunately going to be missed by a couple of members. Finally, Disorder going to take a shot. The crossbar has to bail Boise State out. Great job by him. Follow-up shot, though. That one going to be turned away. Boise State got to try to find a way to hold on to this 2-1 lead right now. Ball still bouncing around in the corner. Disorder is going to put a shot on goal. Waiton right there, though. The follow-up, though, Pranzor is going to put it home. Not a good rotation there from the Broncos.
Despite the Broncos being able to keep this game tied, they really haven't been able to get that much momentum in terms of side control. It's been the Mocs all the way through, keeping it in the orange side of the field. Maybe the Broncos can turn that around, though, as we have 1 minute 49 seconds left. 50-50 comes through back toward Bronco territory, but it's going to be quickly pushed towards the Mocs goal. Ball is high, heading back to the center. In comes Broncos contest, doesn't get the better of it, so Ace Pocket has to pick up the pieces, comes rushing in right now. Ball is still in the center, off to the right of the Mocs goal. Here come the Broncos looking to center it up towards Ace Pocket, who had such a great shot there, but was disrupted. That was such a great angle, so great defensive play from the Mocs. And in comes another shot off to the left, needs to be centered, and a Bronco rushes right past it, allowing Cabot to push it up the field, knocking the centering shot. Here comes Disorder, and Ace Pocket is going to be able to push that back over to the right side of the field, and the Broncos need to try to get some sort of offense going here because the Mocs have been doing such a great job of not letting the ball stay in their side for too long. And Ace Pocket with such a good shot there is going to be saved by Pranzor.
Yeah, Boise State able to keep the pressure up, though. Ball bouncing in front of the Mocs net. The follow-up, LC Coral reading his own rebound almost perfectly there. You see he's going to take the shot, and he's just going to play that perfectly. Cabot just missed on it, and that's what Boise State needed. Now they've just got to find a way to hold for the last 44 seconds.
But the Mocs have been able to tie it up really quickly. In fact, every time the Broncos have pulled into a lead. But maybe with a cheeky goal here, they'll be able to. Not quite there, but a nice cheat attempt there. It's going to go off to the Broncos goal. A little bit scary here. Rush in there, Waiton, and clear it out. Thank you very much. Here comes Disorder. Is going to try to center it up. A Broncos there to defend, and he finds it. Now trying to get the clear again. LC Crow. Cabot comes rushing in. Now Ace Pocket in the air is able to center it up. The pass over to LC Crow off towards the right of the Mocs goal, and in this situation, any sort of side control that they can get to tick that clock down is good. 10 seconds left, and a shot might try to come through here from the Mocs. Ace Pocket is right there. Very dangerous situation. Waiton gets another save, and with a great final save there by LC Crow, it looked like the Broncos are going to get that first victory. Looking into chat over here, Fish, you can see I see Ray Lane, Glovely, some of those great students that have been in production for a long time. Unfortunately, we can't see them right now, but we certainly do miss them and hope that when things settle down, we can all meet back together in the arena and have a great time because I certainly miss seeing them every time we have a broadcast.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm definitely glad to see the state Bobo chants coming out for Boise State. Their adopted nickname. I don't even know where it came from, but it has been the rallying cry of the Rocket League team for I think a couple of months or a couple of weeks at least, maybe even a month. So definitely glad to have everybody in chat here, and definitely a great start for Boise State, holding on for a 3-2 victory. But I don't know if we're gonna get your sweep you were hoping for there, Jim Mountain, because that was a very back and forth game.
It was a very back and forth game, and I mean, a win is a win for the Broncos, but I would have liked to see some more side control. We usually see in stuff like Doc's Key to the Game have that 4 minutes. That certainly wasn't 4 minutes. It was even a lot of the way through. I wouldn't even be surprised if the Mocs had a little bit more time keeping it in Bronco territory. So yeah, hope to see everyone soon in the chat. Just sorry, I was looking at the chat there. But just another thing I gotta say, Fish, that I miss not only seeing some of the great students, but also the cowbells. That's one thing the chat certainly reminds me of, is seeing all the cowbells. Miss hearing that sound. Anyway, you were saying, Fish?
Well, I was going to say it definitely was a back and forth game. We'll see if Boise State can right a couple of those heading into the next one here. Looks like once again, though, early off in the match, they're going to have to try and keep it away from their own net. A little bit double commit there. Ball still balancing around. Finally looks like they are able to get that clear out, and now going towards their own side. Unfortunately, Brands are pushing a Bronco out of the way. Does end up in one of their hands. Cabot able to take control, and right now it does appear, Jim Mountain, that we're just playing a little bit of volleyball right around midfield.
A little bit of volleyball. I do have to say, the one thing that has allowed the Broncos to stay competitive and pull out the win has in fact been their defense. There are the times when the Mocs have had 1, 2, 3 shots on goal, all to be deflected by the Broncos, and I think that really was the saving grace for them that allowed them to eke out the victory there. Ball tries to be cleared, but is missed by the Mocs. This is an opportunity for the Broncos. The shot is centered, but Ace Pocket didn't quite look like the look of that, so he held back a little. Now he's going to be able to be played right over back toward Bronco territory. And now the ball is going to be centered up for Cabot, but in comes rushing a Bronco to Quayton to keep that ball from going in the goal. Like I said, some great defense has kept the Broncos alive through some Mocs, certainly some very forceful pushes by them.
Yeah, Boise has had some excellent defense. You see there, Ace Pocket in perfect position. A great pass, but a huge save from Cabot is going to keep this game tied. Ace Pocket not able to get there with the limited boost. So Florida's other going to put a great shot on goal. The crossbar going to have to bail the Broncos out. They've had a decent bit of luck as well. Mocs are going to keep it alive. Another shot on goal turned away by Ace Pocket. Ball's going to rebound over him. That shot on goal is going to go a bit to the left there from Cabot. Now Boise State might have the clear they needed. Unfortunately, the last member back for the Mocs able to steal an Ace Pocket just does not read that one well. Ends up having to nosedive it right back into the ground, allowing the Mocs to maintain control. Now he's able to play it off of the roof there, and an attack can start for Boise State. Looks like two Broncos went for the same boost, and a demo comes out as well. So just like that, Boise State back on the defensive.
You know, I don't know if I would quite agree with you, Fish, there, in just kind of pushing the crossbar into the luck category. I would more say that that is just a little bit of inaccuracy, which in this game can be so pixel perfect. You know, being in here on Twitch and having games like CSGO or the new kid on the block, Valorant right now, people describe those games as being a game of pixels and just having the perfect aim. Rocket League can be very similar in your midair. If your angle's just off a little, then that ball that was headed right towards the goal is going to bounce off the crossbar instead. So as exciting as it is for we saying the crossbar best person on the team, Wayton now is going to prove that he is a good person on Boise State's team by scoring his goal there.
Yeah, just a great job by Wayton muscling that one in after the deflect by the Mocs on the first shot. Always great to follow up your shots, maybe see if you can push one in the back of the net, and Wayton able to do just that. 50-50 ball in the mid. LC Carl had to recorrect just a little bit there, but able to corral it. Ball bouncing all the way down over to the Broncos corner. A huge demo from Cabot onto Wayton as he was waiting in front of the goal. Unfortunately, the Mocs not able to corral it to turn it into a shot. There's their shot on goal, and that one's going to go in. Branzer with some great accuracy.
Pranzor here, you can see, I think he set that one up for himself. Yeah, it bounces off the left post, and he was right there to just redirect that slightly so it goes in the goal. And a great play by him, equalizing it much in the same way that Wayton scored his first goal, having his own assist. Cabot's going to get the better of that 50-50, but look out for Wayton, was able to get it to clear. But now with the pass over to Pranzor off the crossbar, the Mocs almost were able to pull into the lead here, just not quite there. Cabot centers it up again, so Ace Pocket comes rushing in. He now has control of the ball, is going to go up the wall to set it up right over the goal. Wayton came rushing in there, didn't get the angle he wanted. Now LC Kuro comes in, trying to keep the play going. Look out for Pranzor, trying to get the clear, isn't going to get it. Actually, he does get it right there, excuse me. It looked like Disorder was the one who tried to get the clear earlier. But regardless of who gotten it, the Mocs have been able to show some great defensive play and quickly turning that around into counterattacks like the one we see right now.
Now the Mocs still have possession of the ball for the most part. Cabot trying to play it around. LC Coro able to disrupt him just a little bit. Cabot going to back pass it to his teammate there as Disorder goes for the clear and the rebound off the wall. Pranzor now comes flying in just a bit outside, though. He's not going to be able to get that one. Boise State, a shot on goal turned away by Cabot. Disorder going to go up for that one, but Wayton reads it perfectly, redirects it to the center. Unfortunately for him, Pranzor was waiting right there. Now Cabot's going to take control, tries to center it. Wayton, though, comes back on defense, able to clear that one. Ball bouncing around in the corner there. Good job by Boise State to corral that, but Disorder does come flying in. Cabot elevates for the ball. That one's going to be saved, though, by Ace Pocket. 30 seconds left. Boise State trying to find that go-ahead goal, but right now they just need to find a clear. They have not been able to do that, and it looks like finally Gem Mountain, they might have 20 seconds here.
20 seconds to either secure the victory or push it into overtime. But look at Cabot here, who is up in midair right towards the Bronco. Go plays it over Wayton. My goodness, he had such control over that ball like an acrobat in midair. Look at that, smooth as silk, and just drops it right in front of the goal to get the apparent victory now for the Mocs. If they can hold the Broncos for 10 seconds there, they are going to be able to tie this series up. But the great cheat out from Wayton might set up the Broncos for something, but a great clear by the Mocs. Looks like they are going to be able, especially with a goal right there, you got to give it to Cabot, player of the game for this particular game, able to score 2 goals back-to-back to secure a victory for the Mocs.
Yeah, just 2 really excellent solo play goals there by Cabot. Unfortunately, Boise State thought maybe they had a chance, but now, unfortunately, no chance here. We'll see if they can do something crazy on the 50-50. Almost had an opportunity. Unfortunately, the member cheating out went over the ball that died in the mid, and the Mocs are going to be your Game 2 winners there. So Boise State, in a very, very close series, now has to find a way to come back, and that was just an excellent job by Cabot, really, to turn that whole game around.
Yeah, really turning the game around. He really, that second goal of him just in mid-air, this is the control he had over that, was able to play it right under Wayton because he came down at such an angle that Wayton kind of misjudged it and hopped over him, which allowed the Mocs to get the victory, and then him securing it in the last 2 seconds. Definitely an asset for the Mocs, allowing them to tie this up, so we're going into a Game 4 at least now.
Yeah, I'll be definitely interested to see how this Game 3 goes. It really felt like Boise State definitely controlled maybe the first 3.5 minutes of that. Had a great job defensively as well. You can argue whether or not it's luck or skill that the crossbar was involved for Boise State a couple of times. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to see how Boise State can handle it. Definitely need to find a way to score more than just 1 goal in 4 minutes. I think if they would have made it 2-0, they definitely, I think, would have won. So I think Boise State's just got to find a bit more consistent offense because it really feels like some of their chances, they've just had 1 shot at a goal, and as soon as they miss, the Mocs are back on attack for a couple minutes.
Yeah, and you are watching this match right now, Boise State versus the Mocs in the first of this Rocket League doubleheader on this Monday night. And you hit the nail right on the head there, Fish. Have the Broncos been able to get some shots on goal? Absolutely. But they really haven't been able to get any sort of sustained side control. It gets immediately cleared out by the Mocs every time they miss. That's the biggest thing Boise State needs to improve in right here. 50-50 is going to stay in the center until the Mocs look to get their own goal off to the side, though, which allows the Broncos to clear it back out. Over to where Pranzor is waiting. The ball is going to go past them. Broncos try to center it up. Shot on goal from Ace Pocket is going to be saved by Cabot. And and now the ball is off to the side. Now this is that crucial moment we've been talking about. Will the Mocs be able to clear this out? And looks like the Broncos are going to be able to not be able to get the clear there. There was no one there on the left side of the field, which allowed the ball to easily roll over towards their goal. So, like you said, Fish, the Broncos need to improve in that aspect.
Yeah, they also, that was the second straight double commit. Luckily, Waiton back in the goal, able to bail them out. So Boise State, maybe the communication's a little rough here to start. We'll see if they can shape that out. Disorder tries to play it off the wall, but a great job there by LC Coro. Not going to chase it down. Pranzor able to disrupt him, but it's still in a great spot for LC Coro. The centering pass there, and a great job by Waiton to finish that one off. That is Boise State that we know and love. Just in a fantastic play by LC Coro and sets it up for Waiton.
Yeah, that is the classic team play that we see Boise State excelling at. Great rotations there, so quickly making up for that double commit and showing us all how rotations really shine when they're done right. But it looks like Pranzor was trying to cheat that out off the 50-50, but the ball is going to stay in the center. Elsie Kuro jumps up for it, but is played over by Cabot. Now comes Ace Pocket off the right side for Disorder coming in now, trying to clear it out. Doesn't play it around the corner, but look out for Cabot coming in there with a shot on goal and a great save there by the Broncos. Going to keep their hopes alive. You got to watch out for Cabot. He's been on it with the shots on goal, kind of out of nowhere, keeping the Mocs in the running.
Yeah, Cabot has done a spectacular job to keep the Mocs in it. Ace Pocket going to do a great job winning that 50 ball in the air. Unfortunately, 2 Mocs there, but Ace Pocket coming down from that, able to get another great play. And then you see LC Coral maybe finally able to get it clear, but Pranzor doing a great job right over Disorder in the corner. Takes a rocket of a shot to tie us up. Boise State just couldn't find that clear, and it really all started with a great 50 win right there by Pranzor.
Yeah, that was a great, he got the win off that contest there, able to pass it over to Disorder, who got such a beautiful angle onto the goal. As much as we've been praising Cabot, then comes Pranzor and Disorder with a team play there to say, hey, don't forget about us, we can do some showy plays as well. Now the Mocs are going to find themselves tied up with the Broncos, as has been the case throughout this whole match, but here comes a crucial push from the Broncos. This is where we can see them get a shot on goal, a very crucial one, but there's a lot of defense waiting, but Waiton isn't going to care about that. He's going to shove it right into the goal, push the Broncos into the lead yet again.
Yeah, and that's just a great rotation piece there. LC Crow putting it center right off the back wall, and Waiton, as you mentioned, he did not care about the defense, came charging in to give Boise State the lead. I really still do think, though, that Boise State needs to find a way to make this a 2-goal game. The Broncos will win the 50-50 down in the corner. Does look like Pranzor is able to clear Ace Pocket. Can't stop the ball, but he is able to push Cabot off. Pranzor and Cabot now both there. Disorder's near pass attempt has to be stolen away by LC Coro. A couple of Broncos messing around in front of the net. Luckily, a double commit by the Mocs hits off the top of the crossbar. They've still got to be careful, though. Cabot able to corral that one, plays off his own miss as well. Unfortunately, his back pass able to be easily corralled there by Ace Pocket. Pranzor challenging just a bit. A mid-air demo going to come out. Unfortunately for Boise State, they did not get the ball. So it's back in their half. LC Coro can't quite keep it away from Cabot, but Ace Pocket is able to corral it. But a great job by the Mocs, but a huge save by Waiton. Boise State just unfortunately has not been able to get consistent clears. Cabot going to pop it up, and he's going to put it in the back of the net. An unfortunate play for Boise State, not having anybody back. I think that rotation was a couple seconds late.
It might have been a couple seconds late, but I think I saw a bit of disruption there, yes, by Cabot, getting the shot on goal and then pushing into one of the Broncos to keep them from getting for the goal. That man is just right where you want him for the Mocs, able to tie it up right when they need it. So here we are again, all tied up. It seems like neither team can really get ahead of each other more than one goal. So back and forth thus far. In comes Waiton, is going to play it around 2, able to get the clear onto an open net, and he is going to be able to secure himself the hat trick, pushing the Broncos into the lead yet again.
Yeah, just a great clear there by Waiton. Great job by LC Carl playing some defense on Cabot, making sure he couldn't get to the ball. And Boise State has consistently found ways to stay ahead in this game, but they haven't, as you mentioned, found ways to maintain this lead. There's a huge shot on goal. It's going to go right off the crossbar, but Disorder, he was going to play his own rebound. That was a fantastic play to tie that game up.
Well, just as we reflect on the fact that this has been back and forth, Disorder proves yet again how neck and neck this match has been. We've got 1 minute 40 seconds left right now. Both teams go charging towards the ball, and Disorder gets the better of that 50-50, able to almost get a shot on goal, but the angle wasn't quite right. In comes Cabot, is going to be able to push it back towards his own goal. If it wasn't for Disorder, that might have been an own goal. Certainly not what the Mocs would have wanted, but their rotations were on point. They know what they were doing, but from my angle, it looked like a disaster that was almost in the making. Ace Pocket doesn't get the better of that mid-air contest, allows Pransor to go off the wall, pushing it back toward Bronco goal. Waiton comes rushing in, stops to pick up some 100 boosts, as LC Curro does as well. And the Broncos just keeping it in the center of the field. No clear control coming out just yet, but the Mocs might be able to change that with that demo onto LC Curro.
Yeah, LC Curl going to respawn. We'll see. Waiting, able to get back just in time on the rotation for Boise State. Also able to steal away from Pransor. Disorder now racing down. Unfortunately, that ball just bounced a bit high. Cabot able to make the save. He's going to be challenged by Ace Pocket. Waiting, able to corral that into his own half. Drills it around one. Make that around two, but Pransor did get enough of a touch on it to make it so the ball goes back towards the Broncos net. Ace Pocket now going to try. 30 seconds left. Pransor going to have an excellent job making that save. We'll see if Boise State can mount another shot. LC Crow steals it in the corner. Cabot disrupts him just a bit. Disorder comes flying in as well. Now finally Cabot able to corral it. Clears it over Waiton, but Ace Pocket going to keep it alive. The demo went out onto Pransor. It's a 2-on-3 for just a brief moment. Boise State, though, unfortunately not able to capitalize. They will keep the side control. And time ticking down here. Ace Pocket going to go back, try and recover it. Cabot gets his own demo. So we'll see if the Mocs can use one last chance. Unfortunately, that ball goes right into the ground.
Heads right into the ground and pushing us into overtime. The ball heads off to the side. And here comes Cabot yet again. Look out for this man. Disorder comes in to stop the ball midfield. Maybe give the Mocs a little bit more time to set it up. Pransor over to Cabot with the shot.
He's going to have the shot. The ball still careening around. Does sound like we've lost Jim out there, but Boise State doing an excellent job. Maybe going to try and clear this one out. Now down in the corner, LC Coral plays it off the wall. Waiton's waiting right there. Unfortunately, just barely misses on what could have been the game winner. Boise State now has to retreat here. Waiton in the corner, able to steal that one away. Gets the full boost. Cabot, though, going to put a shot on goal. Double Bronco commit, has to save it. Waiton comes racing in with the crossbar. Bails them out. Boise State just hangs on by the skin of their teeth, and it looks like Waiton might have finally gotten Boise State some breathing room.
Yeah, I apologize for that hiccup. I guess this is such an exciting overtime that even my computer couldn't take it. Froze up for a little bit here, but now I am back, and not a moment too soon as the Broncos have managed to get a little bit of side control going on here. But the Mocs are able to push it back over to where Ace Pocket is waiting. LC Crow, excuse me. Waiting with the pass over to him around the corner. Needs to set it up. Look out here. Comes Disorder, able to stop that from going in their goal. But the Broncos doing a much better job here, not allowing the Mocs gets any sort of offensive push, but as soon as I say that, off towards the goal. A dangerous situation for the Broncos. In comes Waiton, and now looky here, this could be their opportunity. Only Disorder spread of the goal, but a miss there by the Broncos is not going to make a difference as Waiton comes in and gets the victory for the Broncos. He has been so key for them in this match thus far.
Yeah, Waiton actually scoring all 4 goals for Boise State there, and that one just a fantastic effort on his own to put Boise State on match point. A great job there by Waiton, and it really has been a back-and-forth series. Boise State, I felt like if you play that game again, they'd love to have that because they did have the control. They always were in the lead. They were never trailing. They were either in the lead or tied, but Boise State, it would make my life a lot easier and their lives a lot easier if they could find a way to string together 2 straight goals and not let the Mocs answer every single time, except, of course, when there's no time left.
Yeah, that definitely has been the thing that has kept them up. The Broncos score just tie it up for themselves. We are waiting for the next match to come in here. Broncos are up 2-1 overall in this Rocket League match. So that means they've got 2 games now to find 1 victory. It's certainly a better position than if they lost. They would have to win both games, and that's the situation the Mocs find themselves in right now. But other than what we've been talking about, Fish, which kind of the side control and the Mocs' ability to just tie it up almost instantly, is there anything else you see, as we can see in the Chiron right here? Can the Broncos, what can they do to keep the lead?
Well, looking at the stats, I have to recant on my earlier statement. Boise State needs to play better to keep the lead. I mean, the Mocs outshot them 12-8. Most times, if you have the shot advantage in Rocket League, you are going to be the one that wins the game. So Boise State just needs to find more offense. They have not been able to string together a long possession where they're able to get 2 or 3 shots in. It's really been one or done. As this ball bouncing towards the net, Pranzor forced to make a huge save. So yeah, Boise State needs to find a way to maintain side control, turn one shot into 3 or 4, and I think that's the way they'll be able to maintain this lead. As Wade's ball does get stolen, it looks like Disorder is going to be able to clear that one, and it looks like it will be careening back into the corner as the Mocs make a huge misplay, but the Boise State member lands flat. Waiton's going to go under the ball, so everyone unfortunately not able to capitalize on that misplay.
Yeah, that was a wide open opportunity, and Waiton just kind of flubbed it a little bit there. I immediately looked to his boost to see if he had any, because the way that looked, that kind of he wasn't able to get the altitude, and that's normally something you see when you don't have boost. But nope, he had a full 100, so just a little bit of misplay by both teams there is going to allow no goal. But with the way Waiton's been playing and being the clutch player in the last match, I certainly say that overall he has been fantastic. Now the Mocs are going to try to get a clear, a nice demo from Ace Pocket onto Cabot. Might allow them to push forward too, but a great clear there onto the goal by Pranzor, and that just looked like a complete breakdown of rotation from the Broncos. I mean, look at this right here. Ace Pocket misses it, but both Broncos are off in the side of the field. The goal was wide open. That's something we definitely don't want to see, Fish.
Yeah, when he took that shot, nobody was back. These rotations have been just a tad slow sometimes for Boise State. So now we'll see if the Broncos can find a way back in this game. Ace Pocket going to put it above the Mocs net. Disorder is there. Not sure if he really needed to make a touch on that ball as he lost all control. Waiton shot going to be cleared away by Cabot. LC Girl, though, wants to keep it alive. Ace Pocket able to get a touch on it as well. Ooh. And my goodness, Ace Pocket, that is some accuracy.
Well, you know, whether it's the Mocs or the Broncos, do we just want to make a rule here, Fish, that says the new rule for this match, if a team gets in the lead, it's going to be tied up in the next 30 seconds? Because that's definitely what it's felt like thus far.
Yeah, no one's been able to hold really any sort of advantage. It seems like whatever team just got scored on has almost always found a way to convert that 50-50 kickoff into a goal. Boise State might have had another one there. Unfortunately, LC Core was just a bit behind that pass. That would have been huge. Disorder and Cabot bouncing it around. And it really feels like the Mocs, they have been a little bit sloppy in their own defense, at least in terms of clears. Unfortunately, Boise State not able to take huge advantage. But we'll see Waiton and LC Core doing a great job stealing that away from Disorder. But Cabot is there, able to make a spectacular save to keep us tied.
Right now, a quick look into Twitch chat. We can see one Glovely, a familiar sight, as the Stabobos come out. Glovely said, imagine if there was a clown Nate Stabobo. I rated 1 out of 10 too many knives. I just got to say, Glovely, if you're doing a review and your main criticism is that there's too much of something, it's not a 1 out of 10, it's a 7.8 out of 10. 7.8 out of 10, too many knives. Rocket League, 7.8 out of 10, too many cars. But right now, the Broncos are going to be able to maybe get a shot on goal there as Waiton is disrupted by both members of Florida Southern. LC Curro keeps it alive and is actually going to be able to score it. And look at that angle.
Yeah, I don't know. I might have to blame the Mocs on that one. That is a slow-moving ball. 2 Mocs miss on it, and the Mocs defense just has seen, and it's shown some cracks. And Boise State hasn't always taken advantage, but they're gladly take advantage and take a 2-1 lead here, as they are 2 minutes and 25 seconds away from wrapping up this series. They might finally have this 2-goal lead that we've been talking about, but a huge clear from Disorder. LC Curl, the only man left alive. Great defense there as well. I think that was Pranzor who prevented it. And like we talked about, Jim Mountain, nobody can hold a lead for more than 30 seconds.
They definitely cannot. LC Curro was waiting, but got disrupted by the Mocs, allowing Kappa to push it right into the goal. Now 2 minutes, 15 seconds left in this very tense match. 50-50 off to the side. Waiton rushes in, picks up the boost, and the ball is able to center it. One of the Mocs flies back, now with the pass over to LC Curro. It might go in the goal, but a great clear there from the Mocs is going to keep any shot on goal for going forward. Waiton picks up the boost. Cabot bumps right into him, able to push the ball over to the other side, where Pranzor, is waiting. Cabot credited with a shot on goal there, saved by Waiton. And overall, Fish, it does look kind of similar of a thing of the Mocs being able to technically get more shots on goal, but the Broncos coming through with the defense, able to keep this game very competitive.
Yeah, Boise State's defense has been spectacular throughout this series. Waiting, trying to come charging down. Ace Pocket wants to keep that ball alive. Off the rebound, though, his shot's going to go careening over the net. Couple of Broncos maybe commit to that ball, but Waiting still able to get a shot on goal. Disorder able to save it. Waiting, though, trying to do what he can with no boost, but Cabot does corral it in the corner. Looks like Ace Pocket challenged him for just a second. LC Crow hanging out near the mid there, able to keep it alive for Boise State, but I do think they're going to allow the Mocs to get this clear. Waiting will challenge Cabot for the ball, and now the attack might be on once again.
Whoa, look at Pranzor coming right in there with the great clear, pushing it back into Bronco territory. Cabot tried to get the shot on goal. There was some great disruption by Waiting, is going to keep it alive from the Broncos. Ball tries to get clear yet again, but the defense from Florida Southern has been able to keep the side control going for them. A very crucial miss by the Mocs there. That was wide open for them, so nice for the Broncos. That little slip up, keeping the game tied for them, but they have got to mount some sort of shot on goal right here. Like this one, he's going to score! Ace Pocket finds it, pushing the Broncos into a lead. Now, Fish, you got to look at the clock here. 33 seconds left on the clock. That's just about the time that we've been saying that it takes for the game to get tied here. So it's nice that there's not that much time left on the clock and the Broncos find themselves in a lead. But in this particular game, 33 seconds is more than enough to tie it.
Yeah, Boise State's got to be very careful on the defensive end. Try and just find a big clear, almost like ice, or not, almost like in hockey when you're doing for the penalty kill. Just clear it and hang back, melt that time off. Right now, Boise State is surviving shot after shot. Waiting though, not able to play it around Cabot. The opportunity the Mocs need, and Pranzor gonna put it home. Unfortunately for Boise State, Waiting just didn't quite stop Cabot there, and once again, these rotations are just a bit slow. There's nobody in the goal, and you can't have that happen in the last 20 seconds.
Well, true to form, I would say, getting it tied up with just about 20 seconds to tie it back up. Now 10 seconds left. This might go into overtime yet again. Broncos are fighting for it midfield. As long as that ball stays in the air, the match continues. It needs to be grounded. Shot on goal coming forward, but just over to the right is going to push this over to into overtime. It's going to be very crucial here how this 50-50 comes out. Maybe a goal could be scored off of it. Doesn't quite look like it. Actually, LC Carl's able to cheat it out just off the crossbar. Disorder getting the save there, but the follow-up coming through from Waiting isn't going to find it. Now Cabot uses his boost to push it back over to Bronco territory. And my goodness, the demo onto Ace Pocket. This overtime is starting out fast and furious, Fish. And it's going to be ended just as fast as it started. Pranzor securing the victory and a hat trick as well.
Yeah, unfortunately for Boise State, they might have overcommitted to that open goal, and they just never were able to recover. And as you mentioned, that demo onto Ace Pocket really did slow everything down as the hats fall, and Florida Southern, the Mocs can celebrate knowing that they are going to be headed to a winner-take-all Game 5 here between Boise State and Florida Southern. And this has really been one of the most back-and-forth series. I'm not surprised it's gone to Game 5. As you mentioned, it's almost been a rule, Gem Mountain. No team's allowed to lead for more than 20 seconds. So I've got to say, Boise State, the key to this game for them has got to be, can they maintain a lead, and can they make it a two-goal lead?
That is the question.
Because, yeah, I mean, they've got to find a way to get 2 goals in a row, because every time the Mocs don't answer, even in the final 30 seconds. So Boise State needs to string 2 goals together.
Well, I suppose it couldn't end any other way with as close as it has been. Of course, it has to go to a Game 5, and this is going to decide it outright. Who is going to take the victory and start this new tournament off right, I must say. It's always nice to start a new tournament off by getting the first victory on the first match. Both teams fighting for that right now. Definitely some cheering going on in the chat, rooting for the Broncos, but I gotta say, Fish, it's going to be very close.
Yeah, it is going to be very close. I would go out and say prediction, and I don't even know how bold it really is. If any team builds a 2-goal lead, even if it's the Mocs, I do think they are going to win, because we have seen 3 1-goal games and then 1 3-1 victory where the Mocs maybe added an extra goal that they didn't really need. But as we hop into Game 5, once again, Boise State has to make a huge save right in front of their own net. Cabot's shot going to be way too slow. Ace Pocket able to save that. Boise State immediately on the counterattack, but a huge clear back to an open Bronco net. Disorder going to start us out with the first goal of the game.
And unfortunately, you can see that playing out in real time as LSU Kuro rotates up to try to get some offense going. The ball in a huge clear is played right over him, leaving him racing back to the goal, only to watch as it goes in for Florida Southern. So now they find themselves in an early lead, but a cheat off the 50-50 might tie it up. I thought it just might tie it up with the Cows as this game is going. I certainly would expect that a couple seconds after one goal is scored, it's going to be equalized. But the Broncos haven't quite managed to do that yet. Two demos coming out onto both Waiton and Disorder. Things definitely getting a bit chippy between these two teams as the stakes are rising. A bit of slow play there. Cabot was able to play it around LC Kuro, but in came Ace Pocket to try to clear it back out, and now it's in the center over towards the goal, and Waiton is going to find it to equalize.
That was all LC Carl there. As you'll see, he is going to put a huge demo on the last man there. Cabot tried to correct it. LC Carl knew where the ball was going. That was 100% LC Coro there, making sure that ball went in the back of the net, even if we do credit Waiton for that. So once again, the game is tied 50-50, just kind of dies there in the mid. Waiton not quite able to cheat it out. Disorder doing a great job pushing it down. Now Boise State with an excellent pair of passing there. Waiton, and it might have stolen Ace Pocket's dribble there. Not quite sure what that was about. Maybe just Boise State, as we've seen, a little bit of a communication breakdown a couple times in this series. But the Broncos going to keep the pressure on Waiton now, trying to drive underneath it. A demo comes out on the goalkeeper, but I think Disorder doing a great job to just push Waiton enough off that ball to stop his dribble. Now a shot on goal, and unfortunately for Boise State, that is a misplay by the goalie to make it 2-1.
Two rotations gone awry in a row there. The first one, which allowed Florida Southern to get the big clear over to the corner, and the second one right there, not having someone in front of the goal. And that was just as it looked like the Broncos were able to maintain some steady side control, but the Mocs certainly wouldn't let them have it. So now the Broncos needing the need to equalize it again, as we have seen throughout this whole match. Every single game playing out similarly to the last. One team scores, the other team scores. Equalize, and then one team pulls out the victory at the very end. Boise State would certainly like a clear here, but Cabot's going to keep them from doing that with the pass over to Disorder. The ball stays in the corner. In comes Pransor trying to center it up. The Broncos are going to play it over him, and look out for Disorder off the crossbar, almost finding another goal to get a 2-goal lead for the Mocs, but not quite.
Yeah, Boise State just trying to find that clear. They finally will, as we see Waiton racing down. Pransor able to get there. LC Coral going to elevate, but Disorder was there. Cabot had his back as well, and the Mocs will survive. Ace Pocket trying to keep it alive, place it down to Waiton in the corner. Cabot is going to corral it. Looks like Pransor going to be knocked off the ball by Waiton, but Ace Pocket didn't take a route directly to the ball. Maybe misjudged that, or maybe the ball took an odd hop. Boise State now going to have to go and recover. Ace Pocket out of boost, able to stop it for now. Going to go above the goal, but that pass does miss by the Mocs as Waiton tries to dribble it out. It is going to be stolen away by Disorder. Ace Pocket still looking for his first bit of boost in the last 20 seconds, and that is going to limit Boise State defensively as they will get a big clear. Disorder, though, able to corral it, pass it right over to Cabot, going to chip it up in the air, right over Waiton. LC Coro going to meet him in the mid. Ace Pocket not able to keep it away from Pransor, though, as the Broncos are forced to retreat. Pransor going to center that ball. Waiton waiting right there, but it's going to go over the Bronco net.
Broncos still looking to tie this up. Cabot is going to lay it up for Pransor.
Waiton waiting right there, but it's going to go over the Bronco net.
Okay, I'm sorry to tie this up. Cabot is going to lay it up for Pransor.
Waiton waiting right there, but it's going to go over.
All right, I don't know what quite happened there, Fish. I was hearing myself and you as much as I like to hear my voice. Not at that moment, because Florida Southern might have taken advantage of all that confusion to get themselves the 2-goal lead. And now this comes back to your prediction, Fish, which I certainly hope doesn't come true right now.
Yeah, we got it. Boise State's definitely got to find a way to score as the Mocs have taken a 2-goal lead. A demo's unfortunately going to go out onto Waiton as he was dribbling, and that might stop the Broncos' attack. Ace Pocket trying to keep it alive down in the corner, bounces around Cabot. A demo goes out onto the goaltender, but unfortunately for Boise State, no one was there. Finally, Waiton comes charging in, and now everyone has respawned. So Boise State missing an opportunity there with time ticking down. Now Disorder's going to take a shot on goal. Ace Pocket has to clear that one, but Cabot's going to put it back in the net, and 2 goals was tough. 3 goals might be near impossible.
It might very well be. It seems to all be falling apart here in the 5th round. Everything finally coming together for the Mocs. 1 minute, 16 seconds left. maybe they can add on to their goal even more, or the Broncos can start to stage some sort of comeback. We have seen comebacks from them in the past. Right now, the ball is right in front of Florida Southern. Disorder comes right in to stop that shot from going through. Now it's centered by Ace Pocket. Here comes Waiton, but Cappett's going to beat him to the ball and try to turn that into some sort of counterattack. Lucky Ace Pocket, LC Crow was there on the rotation to play some defense, not allowing an open goal. And Ace Pocket tries to do a backflip, but Franzor is going to score on him. And I would certainly say, Fish, that is probably the final nail in the coffin for the Broncos' hopes. 4 goals in 52 seconds. I would say it's possible in any other game, but you're playing against the Mocs right now. And this whole game has been, you're lucky if you're able to get a 1-goal lead thus far. And now with the Mocs firing on all cylinders, it's going to be so tough for the Broncos to come back.
Yeah, Boise State's going to start need to scoring, and they're probably going to need to score in the next 5 seconds to have any sort of hope of a comeback here. Right now we are going to see LC Crow trying to keep it alive down in the corner. The Mocs did double commit, but Pranzor is able to steal it away. Waiton comes flying in, not quite able to steal Pranzor's boost away, but Ace Pocket is able to stop it just for a little bit. Disorder now going to set it up. Great feint, pops it up over the last member, and Florida Southern starting to pull away now. You understand Boise State has to be aggressive, so things like this will happen with only one man back on defense.
And with the hat trick now secured for Disorder, that's just kind of the cherry on top of the victory cake that Florida Southern has made for themselves right here. There's a little under 20 seconds left right now. It would take a miracle for the Broncos to come back, but now that we're down to 10, I would say that this match is as good as over. And Pranzor again is gonna push it to 7-1. This is just disrespectful right now. We all know that the match is over, but they are just gonna rub it right in the Broncos' face for a little bit longer.
Hey, Pranzor saw his teammate get a hat trick. He wanted to get one of his own. You can't blame him for that. Boise State, though, still fighting hard. Till the very end, the 50-50 ball, they tried to cheat it out, and now with 0 seconds left, that ball immediately going to land on the ground. And Florida Southern, the Mocs, going to do a come-from-behind fashion there. Not quite a reverse sweep, but they will win games 4 and 5 to secure this series. And that 7-1 scoreline definitely not indicative of how that match went. It was a very back-and-forth match with the Mocs just pulling away in the final game. So an unfortunate start for Boise State, but good thing we have a doubleheader in Rocket League tonight, Jim Mountain, because Boise State can still make sure they find a way to win.
Oh yeah, we usually have 2 squads making for a very exciting double header. The GGs are coming out in chat for the Mocs, a very well-earned victory. And I would say, in summary, Fish, what I think made the difference there is Boise State was able to keep the game going due to the defense in the first 4 games and keeping it equalized. But the Mocs, at the end of the day, had better side control, more shots on goals, and eventually that paid off for them.
Yeah. I think if you play that series over and the stats remain the same, I think the Mocs might win in less than 5. So you have to give a huge shout out to Boise State to pushing it to a Game 5, where, as you mentioned, the Mocs had better side control. They had better shots on goal. At least it felt like they did. I don't have the official numbers, but it definitely seemed like they were able to convert multiple shots. So huge props to Boise State for getting it to a Game 5, for being on match point, leading the series 2-1. But unfortunately, Florida Southern will come out on top. It does sound like we have a player of the game ready to go. Gem Mountain, do you have any predictions for us?
I have to say Waiton, who kept it going right now. We do see something interesting in the chat about the tournament might be a best-of-3 instead of best-of-5. I'll wait for the official word on that, because that is an interesting scenario, because if it is a best-of-3, then the Broncos would actually take the victory. So
you can hear me now,
we're waiting. Yes,
Good.
I can.
Yeah. So yes, after the game had already moved on to the 4th, 5th game, it was determined that the rule sets were a little bit different, and these opening rounds are best of 3. Now, so the Broncos will get the W during this part of the group play, which is great. These teams are going to see each other again, as we always do. They've been a long-time scrim partner. They've been a fabulous scrim and opponent through all of the last year in the NACE tournament. So, yeah, it almost doesn't matter how it ends up in the scorebook, because we're going to see them again. It's going to be tough again, and we just hope that these two teams can can find themselves on opposite sides of the bracket, so that they can play together in the championship game, because I would love to see that.
Well, Fish, you know how I was saying it was impressive the Broncos managed to keep the game going? Even more impressive that they managed to win that game, apparently. Especially as we were talking about with the stats being the way they were and the more shots on goal coming out through the mocks.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, I don't have any problem with us playing a couple of extra Rocket League games. Unfortunately, it does kind of hurt for Florida Southern to think that you had extended the series and even won, and then to get told, oh, by the way, unfortunately, you had lost after 3. And I know we were talking about how 7's maybe too much. I do have to say, I do think best of 3 sometimes a little bit short in Rocket League, because you could see these crazy comebacks. So, but I understand it's a very long tournament. You want to make sure you get through the group phase as fast as possible. So I do understand why they maybe set it to best of 3. So hey, we'll take it for Boise State. You know, you take those first 2 victories in the first 3 games, and hey, there's something to it. So yeah, great job, Boise State. Great job to Florida Southern, and shout out to Cabot on one of the members of Florida Southern coming in and letting us know the unfortunate news for his team. So hey, you know what? I'll take that for Boise State, and that just means now the Broncos can go for a 2-0 sweep instead of the revenge game in the next one. So whatever works, Jim Mountain, we'll take it.
Yep. Whatever works, we will take it. A victory for the Broncos, a win for the Broncos. You can see it looks like the headlines are about as confused as we are right now. But before all of this confusion, we were talking about the player of the game. I do have to say, Wayton, especially if it is a best of 3, correct my memory if I'm wrong here, Fish, but it did seem like it was Wayton in Game 3 that was able to come through and secure the victory for the Broncos.
Yeah, in the series clinching match, Wayton scoring every single goal in the game winner, definitely very huge for him. But yeah, I mean, everyone for Boise State played very well. I love seeing this team. I love seeing the other team. I haven't been able to see him in about a week, so I'm very excited that Boise State was able to claim the win there. And I'm definitely excited to see what this next match holds, because in best of 3, you're almost always guaranteed a Game 3, because it is a little funky in how quick the games go. A 2-0 win you never really see, because a team usually is able to say, all right, this is what they're doing in Game 2. They respond. So we're going to see, I bet you, a lot of match points in the group phase here. So I'm definitely excited to see a lot of high tense, like just crazy action. That Game 3 went to overtime too. So that was some of the most intense action we've seen. So I would not shock me if we see a lot of Game 3s and a lot of overtime in Game 3s going forward in group play of this tournament.
Yeah, I would assume that the second match of tonight is also going to be a best of 3, so we will get to that as soon as we can. Just reflecting on that very close match between the Broncos and the Mocs. The Broncos pulling out the victory after we thought they hadn't. So, I guess the Broncos, just as a team in traditional sports and esports as well, you think it's all over for them, and then in the very last moment they pull I suppose a comeback. I don't know if you could call it a comeback, more maybe of a rules technicality this time.
Yeah, Boise State has made a history of themselves from snatching victory away from the jaws of defeat in any way possible. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to see how this other team is able to play tonight. Definitely excited to see who their opponent is. Of course, as we heard there, Florida Southern, a longtime scrim partner, a team we've seen several times on the stream. I know I've seen Cabot hop in as well, even saying Wayton is an amazing player, huge for Boise State. I love seeing Cabot hop in here. You know that they're really good partners with Boise State if they're going to come support the Broncos in their own streaming. So I love Florida Southern. I'm glad. Hopefully we get to see them again, as they mentioned. Hopefully they're on the other side of the bracket. So I would love to see another longtime partner available for the other Boise State team to play, because it's so much more fun when you create these many rivalries, and that's the great part about esports. You don't have to be a conference rival. It can be a rival that's literally on the other side of the United States right now, and we've had a ton of epic matches against them.
And talk about good sportsmanship. Cabot even throwing out a Stabobo for the Broncos. I guess the ultimate show of goodwill in the chat. So definitely no bad blood between these two teams. A great partner in scrims and matches. And I have to agree with Doc. It would be great to see them on different sides of the bracket finally coming together in a final to play it out, because that was such a tense game.
Yeah, that was incredible here, and I love these tournaments where you get a lot of Rocket League play, you get to see a lot of teams, but you also get to see teams you're familiar with. That's the great part about all these tournaments. Nace, I know we had our social distancing series, it's a way esports gets to keep playing even in times like this, so we are able to keep at least some form of action going, and you get to see a lot of teams. When you're at the top and you're playing with teams that are also at the top, you see a lot of familiar faces, and that's what makes Rocket League and other games so great, is playing the same team, winning one, maybe the next time they'll win the series, and just having that back and forth. It is a lot of fun.
Yeah, the flip side of that is, I guess I gotta say, at the top of games and at the bottom of games, you see a lot of familiar faces. You're either Grand Champion or Grandmasters, and there's a lot of familiar faces, or you're in Bronze, and there's a lot of familiar faces.
That's
so
true.
At both ends of the spectrum, there's almost a bit of a community that forms, I should say.
Yeah, well, before we get to our second game, we are going to take a short break, but you don't want to go anywhere because, as we said, it is a doubleheader in Rocket League tonight. So we have another match coming up, and it's going to be